Hello and good afternoon. I want you to travel back with me for a moment, and not to a distant land, but to a familiar inner territory. I want you to recall the last time you felt an itch, not a physical itch, an itch in your soul. Maybe it was this morning, looking at the beautiful chaotic mess in your kitchen before the day has even begun, a quiet sigh. This could be better. Maybe it was at work, sitting in a meeting, listening to a plan that you knew deep in your bones was inefficient. A restless shifting in your seat. There's a better way to do this. Or maybe it was quieter, more profound, looking in the mirror and feeling a gap between the person you are and the person your soul knows you were meant to become. A familiar aching whisper, I could do better. We all know this voice. For some of us, it's a fleeting visitor. For others, it's a constant companion. It can feel like a stone in your shoe that you can never, ever shake out. And for most of some people's lives, they treat that voice as an enemy, a joy killer, a relentless critic that stood between them and peace. They thought the goal was to silence it, to finally arrive at a place where everything was enough. But what if we've been misunderstanding its purpose entirely? What if that nagging, restless, persistent push for improvement isn't the obstacle to joy? What if it was the very engine of joy? Today I want to share a language with you, a framework for understanding the human experience called human design. Now don't worry, this isn't about putting you in a box. Think of it as a poetic, symbolic map of your unique, energetic writing. It doesn't predict your choices, but it can illuminate the currents that run through you, the themes your soul are here to explore. At the heart of this map are 64 universal themes, or we can call them energies, or they often call them gates. Every single person on this planet has access to all 64. We are all learning and growing in our relationship with each one of them. But for some of us, certain energies are more consistently and intensely active in our design, our nature. They are themes our soul came here to master. Today, we're going to explore just one of them, a fascinating, paradoxical, and a profound energy we've already alluded to. In the language of human design, it is called simply Gate 58. Another common name is the joyous. I know, I just spent 5 minutes talking about an itch of dissatisfaction, and now I tell you its name is the gate of joy. This right here is the beautiful paradox we're going to unravel together, because the ancient wisdom traditions and the modern synthesis both point to a stunning truth. The consistent energetic pressure to improve is so intrinsically linked to a vibrant, fulfilling life that its highest expression can only be called joy. This energy flows from what human design calls the root center, the very base of our energetic system. Think of it as our engine room, our adrenal system. It's a pressure center, providing the raw, pulsing fuel to adapt, to evolve, and to live. Gate 58 channels this raw pressure into a very specific drive, the drive to make life better. But not just for ourselves, but for the collective. It's a logical, pattern-seeking energy that wants to test, refine, and perfect the experience of living, and do this for everyone. We can think of this energy like any energy, as having a few sliders that we can adjust. There's a intensity slider. How strongly do you feel this push? A frequency slider. The level of conscientiousness from low to high. How frequently do you feel this energy? And the quality slider, the health and wisdom of this expression. At its lowest quality, its shadow expression, Gate 58 is exactly that voice we started with in this conversation. It's that raw, unfiltered dissatisfaction. And that's the word for the shadow. Dissatisfaction. It's the energy of complaining, of nitpicking, of chronic criticism. It's the person who walks into a beautiful room and only sees the crooked picture frame. It's the inner critic that says, "You're still not good enough." For those of you who live here, you know this as a heavy burden to carry. It's the thief of presence. It's the feeling that happiness is just over the next hill, after the next fix, after you become a little bit better. It is exhausting. In our modern world, the shadow is everywhere. We scroll through the perfectly curated lives, amplifying our own sense of lack. We're told to hustle, to optimize, to level up, and yet we end up feeling more drained and dissatisfied than ever. The researcher Brené Brown distinguishes between perfectionism, which is what the shadow breeds, and a healthy striving. She says perfectionism is a defense mechanism. It's the belief that we can just be perfect. That if we can just be perfect, we can avoid the pain of blame, judgment, and shame. But of course, it's a trap. It keeps us from ever feeling true joy. And this is the shadow of Gate 58 running rampant, disconnected from its sacred purpose. But even the shadow holds a clue. The great teacher Michelle D. Craig spoke of a concept she called divine disconnect. She said it's the feeling that comes when we compare what we are to what we have the power to become. It's not a voice of shame, it's the holy restlessness. It's the whisper from our heavenly parentage that says, "My child, remember who you are. There is more light to embrace." The poet Rainer Maria Rilke must have understood this divine disconnect when he wrote, "God speaks to each of us as he makes us, then walks with us silently out of the night. These are the words we dimly hear. You, sent out beyond your recall, go to the limits of your longing, embody me, flare up like a flame and make big shadows I can move in. Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final. Don't let yourself be separated from me. Nearby is the country they call life. You will know it by its seriousness. Give me your hand." Go to the limit of longing. That is the call of Gate 58. It asks us not to suppress our dissatisfaction, but to dignify it, to ask it, "What are you trying to show me? What love is underneath this frustration? What beauty are you asking me to create?" When we do this, we begin to turn up the frequency and the quality slider. We move from the shadow of dissatisfaction into the gift of vitality. So from dissatisfaction to vitality. Now, vitality, what a word. It's not just happiness, it's aliveness, it's the light in the eye. It's the spring in the step of someone engaged in meaningful purpose. At the gift quality, the same energy that manifested as complaining now becomes enthusiastic, optimistic action. The focus shifts from the problem to the possibility. A person living the vitality of Gate 58 is a joy to be around. They are the ones who say, "Okay, that didn't work. What else can we learn? Let's try this." They make work like play. They bring a contagious, hopeful energy that lifts the entire group. And for those of you in the audience who know this state, this buzz of joyful purpose, you know it is one of the most beautiful feelings in the world. It's a taste of heaven on earth. The great physician and philosopher Albert Schweitzer observed, quote, "The only ones among you who will be really happy are those who have sought and found how to serve." This reveals another secret of Gate 58. It is not a selfish energy. It's part of the collective circuit in human design. Its joy is meant to be shared. The ancient Christian teacher, King Benjamin, taught his people a profound truth. He said, "When you are in the service of your fellow beings, you are only in the service of your God." And so many of us have discovered that the fastest way out of a personal funk, out of a low quality dissatisfaction is to turn outwards, to go and improve something, not for yourself, but for someone else. In these acts, the itch of it's not good enough transforms into a deep satisfaction of I made something better. This is the joy of service. This is vitality. But to truly master this energy, in human design, it has a partner, Gate 58. With all its fuel and enthusiasm, like a powerful, beautiful car with a full tank of gas, but it needs a steering wheel and a GPS. And the guidance comes from the channel partner in Gate 18. Gate 18 in human design resides in the awareness center, or the intuition area. Its gift is a sharp, penetrating insight to see exactly what is flawed in a pattern. It's the energy of critical discernment. If you have the joyous push of Gate 58, but not the insight of 18, you might feel a little restless and unfocused energy. You might be the person who is constantly rearranging the furniture, starting new hobbies, feeling antsy to improve something, but never feeling the satisfaction of having fixed the right thing. Conversely, if you have a critical eye of Gate 18 but lack the vital energy of 58, you might be the person who sees every flaw, who has a list of what's wrong with the world, but feels too cynical, tired, or hopeless to do anything about it. Your insight becomes a burden. When these two energies work together, you have what's called the channel of correction. You have both the joyful energy to do the work, that's 58, and the wisdom to know what work needs to be done. That is found partly in Gate 18. But you can see the danger here, can't you? Unchecked, this channel can become the energy of harsh judgment. The person who only sees what's wrong and uses their vitality to hammer on it relentlessly. This is where that quality slider becomes so important. Is your correction offered with love? Is your feedback invited? Do you celebrate what's right with the same energy you use to point out what's wrong? A healthy expression of this channel doesn't say, "You're broken." It says, with a compassionate arm around the shoulder, "I see your magnificence, and I think we can polish this part just a little bit longer." This is the art of divine correction. It is the way the heavens guide us, with perfect insight into our flaws, but with an even more perfect infinite love that gives us the desire and the strength to change. So we move from the shadow of dissatisfaction by asking what love is beneath it. We alchemize it into the gift of vitality through joyful service, and we temper our corrective impulses with love and wisdom. And if we continue this path, if we truly commit to living this gifted state, we can, on occasion, receive a glimpse of the energy's highest expression, a state the mystics and saints have tried to describe for millennia. It is bliss. Bliss is not giddy excitement of a new toy. It's a profound, unshakable, unconditional joy. C.S. Lewis called joy the serious business of heaven. It is a state where the drive to improve doesn't disappear, but it is so perfectly aligned with the flow of life that there is no more struggle. There is only being. In this state, you realize the breathtaking truth that everything, even the imperfections, even the dissatisfactions that started you on this journey, was part of a perfect divine plan. You don't need to fix anything to be happy. Your very presence, radiating this serene joy, begins to heal and uplift the world around you without even effort. The great teacher Russell M. Nelson taught that joy available to us has, quote, little to do with our circumstances of our lives and everything to do with the focus of our lives. When our focus is on the divine, on God, on Christ, we can feel joy regardless of what is happening. This is bliss. It is the joy of the martyr who sings in the flames because their focus is on the glory to come. It is the joy of the parent who sacrifices everything for a child, and in the giving finds a fullness they never knew before. It is the joy of that Jesus of Nazareth spoke of when he said to his disciples on the eve of his greatest trial, "These things I have spoken unto you, that ye might that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full." Think of that. In the face of unimaginable suffering coming so soon, his joy was on filling us with his joy. This is the ultimate model of Gate 58. A vitality so profound, a love so complete, that it can hold all the world's sorrow and still call itself joy. This journey from the itch of dissatisfaction to the ocean of bliss is the greatest human story. It's the narrative of our existence. Some of us stumble upon human design because we felt lost, or we think differently, or maybe we've been hurt by the very institutions that were supposed to give us answers. We are seeking. And what I want to offer today is that language doesn't have to be a replacement for faith, but it can bridge us back to it. It can show us the beautiful, intricate mechanics of the divine principles we were always taught, and we never quite got, or for some reason, we need to be bridged back. It can help us see that the eternal truths of love, service, and progression are written not just in ancient scripture, but in the very energy of our DNA. To feel this journey in our hearts, I wrote a short poem, a song for the alchemist within each of us. We'll call it the Alchemist's Song. There is an itch, a holy fire, a hum of disconnect, a whisper of a world built higher, a life more truly spent. The shadow calls it lack and wrong and weeps at what is not. It sings a tired, bitter song of a flawed and lonely lot. But listen closer, soul. Be still. Beneath the fret and fuss, the itch is your Creator's will, alive and moving through us. It is the love of what could be, a seed within the dust, the hope for all humanity, a spark of sacred trust. So take the restlessness and stand, and face a crooked frame, extend a joyful working hand, and whisper love's own name. Then pour your vitality, your light, on mending what you can. Make one small corner of the night reflect the cosmic plan. For in the turning of the screw and the sweeping of the floor, a bliss arises fresh and new, and opens heaven's door. And you will find the final art, the secret of the sage, that joy was in you from the start, just waiting to engage. So, my invitation to you today is simple. The next time you feel it, that itch, that whisper of this could be better, don't shush it, don't numb it, don't scold it. Pause, take a breath, and with the spirit of loving curiosity, ask it. What beauty are you asking me to create? What love is hiding underneath you? And then with a light heart, go and do that. Not because you are broken and need fixing, but because you are divine, creative being, born to be a co-creator with God. Because the most sacred, joyful work we can ever do is to take the material of this imperfect, beautiful world, and with our own two hands, our own hearts, and our own extinguishable vitality, make things better. May you find the vitality in that change, the bliss in the becoming, and the profound, unshakable joy in that sacred, beautiful work. And with that, I thank you, and a good night.